Welcome back to Safa's Unscripted, episode 105. Boys, there's not a lot to talk about. It's still the build-up, still 2 more weeks until the Rugby Championship. So we thought, listen, if we scrape deep enough in our bums, we will find something to talk about. We are going to touch on the Olympics, and then we are going to touch on the lovely talking point of should the Rugby Championship and the Six Nations and those type of competitions be open for a promotion and relegation. Brett, on this lovely little Sunday afternoon, well, Monday morning for people watching, how are you doing?
I'm great, but just a disclaimer that we do not share the same views when it comes to scratching each other's bums to get content. So that's all on you. I thank you. But yes, hello everybody. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, how's it, everyone? Hopefully we can get through a full episode with the three of us because it's been a struggle recently. But yeah, got some the Olympics. That's got some juicy stuff to talk about. But also,
Revan, by the way, we're just happy everything is all good there, and you are safe. We didn't worry because you are a 7'9" giant, so we know.
I wish, but yeah.
Anyway, yeah, let's talk about a bit of Olympics, right? We won't say anything about the opening ceremony because that was utterly disgusting.
That's not sport. Move on, please.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Olympics. Brett started off lovely Safas with 2 losses, losing once again to the mighty Irish, and then losing to the All Blacks. What was going through your head after we did that?
You know, I wanted to make a video after the Irish game as that South Africa got completely there was no. I'm going to be that guy now quickly, but the ref killed us in that game against Ireland in the first game. I wanted to make a video about it, but I thought, you know what? Let's not be that guy because people are just going to start blaming the ref. Although some Irish people told me to my face that they got away with one there. But enough about that. We needed 22 points to beat Japan to go through to the playoffs. So yeah, that was quite a formality actually against a very weakened Japan side. But I'm extremely happy about how we went by our business in that quarter final.
Yeah. Brevan, what was your initial thoughts after those first 2 losses?
So yeah, literally, I remember I was actually quite keen because obviously we all enjoy the sevens. It's not our main rugby that we all love playing it, especially me and Brett. But it's not like it's, in my opinion, the be all and end all. It's a fun type of format, you know. And it's I was looking really forward to this Olympics because I knew the Blitzboks weren't the greatest going in, but I thought, hey, maybe we could cause a few upsets. And then when I saw that first Irish game, look, I thought we were terrible. I just saw such a one-dimensional type of team. And then I missed the game against the All Blacks, unfortunately, because I don't know why I did. And then obviously beating Japan we did what we needed to do. And then that quarterfinal, I think Brett said this first, and I agree with him, the best defense in sevens history. The way we defended phases in sevens on our try line has never been done before, from my memory. So, yeah, obviously chuffed also with the bronze. Come on. We weren't expecting that.
Of course. Obviously, the previous video was, we spoke about that right before we played the quarterfinal, where it was okay, we got 2 losses, and the idea popped up of let's talk, is South African rugby overall in danger? Also referring to the sevens. And then we went on and won the quarterfinal right before we started filming. So that just nullified that whole talking point. But I agree. Listen, we were outplayed against Ireland in that first half, even though the ref absolutely shafted us. I remember in the first minute, he blew Christy Grobler for not releasing in the tackle. Well, Christy Grobler is 2 meters away from the tackle. It was an absolute farce. It was an absolute joke. Okay? But anyway, because after that, I don't want to hear the Irish talk about ref blaming, because right after that, they lost to Fiji, and all I've been seeing is literally ref blaming. Ref blaming, ref blaming, ref blaming. You see how it turns when it's another team, right? But they would never say it's always just Safas blaming the ref, whatever. Okay. But overall, the talking point, most people talk about it, is, well, firstly, Fiji once again on their massive winning streak, but then finally getting undone in the final by France, who literally struggled in the group stages, but also got better. And everyone's talking about Dupont. And I think that is a disgrace because he was not their best player.
Yeah, I think let me quickly spitball my thoughts because I'm going to let Brett do the best part for last, like he always does. So for me, like, it's yes, what he added to the team, good. You can't lie, he added something different to their team, 100%. He's a great player. We know he's the best player in the world. But to bring in when Dupont does a chip and chase like Sullivan Davids did like 5 times in the tournament and scores, like, and then all over social media, oh my gosh, this is one of the greatest sevens tries, the GOAT, and
The joke.
it's forced. It's really forced. Like, I get it. It's an Olympic gold, awesome. Like, I get it, but the guy has so much more to do to even touch the likes of Dan Carter. I know Brett doesn't like this, but Richie McCaw, those type of players. I mean, obviously, I still think he has so much further to go to reach levels such as Eben Etzebeth and Peter Steph
Even
Toy.
Aaron
Like,
Smith, he's not even the best
Sorry.
line to everything. Like, come on. Anyway,
like,
Brett,
yeah.
go.
You summed it up quite well that it's forced, because that's actually the best description that you could have used. It is forced. The Antoine Dupont thing is so forced. Firstly, France getting the Olympics in the same year that they got the World Cup. I'm calling it corruption to the T. I don't know how they do it. It's bullshit. I don't care what people say. Then they go on to have the worst opening ceremony in the rugby, and then they go and top their worst opening ceremony with the Olympic opening ceremony, which I thought was absolutely disgusting. You can come at me all you want. It was a piece of shit, the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And then the commentators that keep saying that this is a gender fluid Olympics and Antoine Dupont is the best thing in the world. It's actually driving me insane. Like, he passed the ball. He gets the ball and he passed it. And the female commentator said, that was a pass from the best person in the world. He passed the damn ball.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we don't want to take away how good he is, because he's a brilliant player. But the fact that everyone keeps saying every time he touches the ball, that's why he's the best in the world, really makes me want to think, I want to dispute why he's not the best in the world. Like, I mean, seriously, I can see he's great he can play as a lock or a flank, and he can still do a good job because he's that good at the breakdown as well, right? He is an amazing player. He's probably currently the best player in the world. But to say he's the best player in the world every single time he touches the ball and does basic shit irks me so much.
It's not even that. I mean, it is that, but it's like he will be, in no doubt in my mind, he will be in the GOAT conversation in a long time still to come.
Yeah.
But as of right now, he's not in that conversation. He's been the best player in the world for 3 years. That's just how. Oh, and sorry, Adi Surveyor. Yeah, he's been competing there as well. So,
because Adi Surveyor played in 15 as well. He played at 15 at club level and scored 4 tries.
You just see Antoine Dupont, like, and I said it, like, I don't want to see none of these French fans or whoever say we won gold at the Olympics. By your theory, Dupont won gold at the Olympics, and the rest of you oaks don't matter. So that's how I see the reaction.
Exactly.
But anyway, I sound so sour. But anyway,
no, but it's
I'll be
not
the sour
sour.
one. Wait. I'll be the sour one. I want to just touch base on that, because when France made it to the quarterfinals of that, I said there's no chance France is losing this. They are taking gold. It's all about whatever has to happen is going to happen so that they can glorify Antoine Dupont. That is the script that has been written. I don't care what anybody says about it. That's how it was going to be, and that's exactly how it panned out. So that's also, it's frustrating the crap out of me. Why are they idolizing this person so much? And yes, it was in France, but nobody gives a shit where it was. and nobody gives a shit about Antoine Dupont except for the French. Like the rest of us, we can imagine South Africa. They put a JC Pretorius back in there, or a
Quagga Smith,
or a Chesney Colby, or anybody for that matter, Quagga Smith, and then that absolutely smokes Antoine Dupont in a playoff game, and boom, there he's injured again, and then everyone hates that player because they hurt Golden Boy Dupont. Like rugby's about every other country and every other player in the world. Stop idolizing this person. It's making me dislike a person that shouldn't be disliked.
Yeah,
that's a good player.
Yeah,
he's a brilliant player. Like I agree fully with what Brett just said. Like glorify that French team. Like after they won the championship, I don't even want to count how many minutes the camera was literally just on Dupont. And I was like, bro, he wasn't even the best player for France. That other guy, I don't even know his name, but he scored that breakaway try against us in the semi-final.
The black hair.
He was,
with the black hair, that tall guy.
Yeah. He was by far their best player. That guy and that blonde scrum off that they had, that just made everything an absolute menace. Those were the two standout guys for me from France. Like, if you look at the tries that Antoine Dupont scored, they went crazy when he scored that final try assisted that final try. Did you see where Selvin Davids or Roscoe Speckman, I'm not sure with the camera angle who that was, and Shoes Wapi, they stood on the touchline still talking to their team. It's not a quick tap. Our boys were just brain faded, and they went on like this is this magical, you have to be the best in the world to see, listen, the try line's open in front of you, tap the ball and run.
Yeah.
Or that try scored against Argentina where they said it's this massive dummy. Argentina thought he's going to kick the ball out because that's what every normal person would do. So he tapped it and acted like he's going to pass or kick it out and then just ran through with no one contesting. Like it's not this magical thing. It's just Dupont scoring a try. I mean, seriously.
I think, just to top it off from my side, it's and it's like touching on Brett's point. Like the Oak is an insane player. Like, and trust me, we give him the credit. He's insane. It's just at the point now where it's just a forced conversation, and that's what annoys a lot of people. So, like you said, we don't dislike the Oak. It's just the media that creates this ridiculous hype when, like, bro, you've still got a lot to it, like, But that's just my last.
If you go on individual skill set, he is probably the best in the world and he's been for a while. But you have to, if you talk about a GOAT conversation, you take team accolades with it. And obviously the main talking point is probably he hasn't won a World Cup. But he's also like in his prime now playing. He's only won 1 Six Nations, hasn't he? Like Ireland's dominated the Six Nations. He's been winning tournaments and stuff with probably the strongest team to ever grace this earth to lose, right? Like, I mean, that team is just stacked by every foreign player in the world. I mean, so there is caveats around it, but individual skill set, he is probably the best in the world alongside Adi Savea currently, but he's not close to GOAT status yet.
He's not, because look in the game against New Zealand in the World Cup. Aaron Smith, of the two scrum-offs, the people that play the same position that are claimed to be the best in the world, Aaron Smith was better than Dupont.
Yeah,
he played better that whole game. He owned him. So what are we on about? Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's move on to the second talking point. Rugby Championship coming up. Should there be, let's talk Six Nations as well. Should there be relegation and promotion for other teams to get into these competitions, get more exposure? Brett, I'll come to you first. What do you think? Yes or no?
I think that's the best idea in the world. I love a good promotion relegation game. Obviously not when it's my team, but I do enjoy when something like that happens. I want to see in every competition there must be. I don't like the Premier League in football where the bottom three just fall out and the top three come in. I don't like that. I want it to actually be a match. Firstly, it's going to put more bums on seats. People want to see that game. And then also, it's obviously generating some revenue. So, but that's not the point. So, a team like Japan, for example, I think there must be like a mini competition, like Fiji, Japan, Samoa, and let's say America, for example, Southern Hemisphere, Southernish Hemisphere. teams play a little against each other. The team that's at the top there plays promotion relegation against, let's say it's Australia this year in the Rugby Championship. They play and then move on. And the same in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, just in the south, you could make Samoa, Uruguay, Namibia, Tonga, or Fiji, all those teams. North, you have Japan, Georgia. There's others as well, but yeah, Portugal. Sorry, my head's literally Romania. Yeah, all of these so just being able to see them get the chance to at least get into a competition, that's I think it's deserved, because there's all this talk about growing the sport. The only way you grow the sport is if you give countries that aren't recognized an opportunity to get somewhere, right? So if Georgia, for instance, do beat an Italy or Wales in a promotion relegation game, that immediately takes them to the bigger stage and now grows the sport in Georgia, So these are things that World Rugby should consider, because, just by giving, like I said, other teams chances to be in a major global televised to the world competition, it immediately grows the sport within that region. And that's essentially what World Rugby wants to do. So, yeah, definitely all for it.
I fully agree, especially to the point where it's just grow the game. Imagine Namibia having they don't need to play these scrubs or 2-3 games a year anymore. They actually have a solid competition where they can prep a team to play on a consistent basis. They know that they have a tournament to look out for or look forward to every single year to grow their sport. It motivates more people. You get more bums in seats. You get more investment into their teams because they actually get games. It doesn't all need to be televised, right? But because obviously that works different when it comes to finance. But get those guys to play, get their motivation, make their teams better. Because I would love, as I said it before, I would love for it to be like in football, if you watch the Euros, where if you see a scrappy-ish team or a team lower, you wouldn't be surprised if they sneak a draw or a sneaky win, a scrappy win, right? Which you don't get in rugby. Literally, we see South Africa take on, for instance, Namibia, 60, 70 points over them. It's ridiculous. You want those scorelines to be closer. We want to see the growth in Fiji. We want to see the growth in Samoa. And the only way to do that is by giving them regular games. And the exact same for the Northern Hemisphere, almost more so for the Northern Hemisphere, because Georgia is much closer to Wales and stuff than most teams are in the Southern Hemisphere. But look at how good Portugal can be with only a couple of games, how they played against South Africa. Obviously, they got smacked in the end, but we saw what it meant to them in the World Cup. Why don't you do that on a regular basis? Get those guys involved. I think it would be absolutely sensational. Can you think of any negatives, Brett, of making it, except for maybe financials? But yeah.
Yeah, the only problem is it will be the traveling part of it. So imagine it's South Africa now gets relegated. Then it's very easy to be Tonga, Australia, New Zealand, and then Argentina. Then it's just the one-off travel quickly to Argentina. Not that bad. But then say it's Argentina, South Africa, or Australia, and Tonga. I can't see how a Tonga can afford to go to South Africa, then go to Argentina, then go to Australia. That's
where World Rugby needs to step in, because they're in control of this.
I get that, but that's also, it's going to be, it's a bit taxing when you that far apart, like Australia or New Zealand to South Africa, for example. It's a far travel. So that could be the only reason why I think they wouldn't have even considered it by now. But
that's kind of why you have the games where you have a bye week, right, for the people that have to travel a lot. So I don't know. I just don't see the drawbacks to it. I don't see any negatives to it. You grow the game so much if you do this. Revan?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think, for instance, we think that there's any negatives. It's kind of just if you think about it, the only negatives would be time zones or that type of thing. But like
Yeah.
you can get over that. I mean, we've
We'll
done it
already
before.
watched it at ridiculous hours.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't see any setbacks, honestly, and I think it does grow the game immensely. So yeah, I really can't think of a negative, to be honest. So that's just me.
Yeah. The growth of the game would be absolutely insane. As I said, it would just be lovely to see a bit more competition. Like, even if there's not relegation or promotion in a couple of years, right? Like, let's say the Southern Hemisphere tournament stays the same because the top team of the lower division can't beat the higher one. At least you give them that opportunity to actually go and fight for it. That's kind of just what I'm getting down to. Do we have anything to add, or do we just cut it over here?
I'm happy. I think that was good. I don't know about Breven, but I kind of enjoyed this topic, but I don't think there's anything else to add from my side.
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm trying to like fidget with the volume button because stupid bikes keep coming in and out. So
No worries. We're at the end anyway. As always, people, thank you very much for watching the video. We do love and appreciate you all. We got a bit riled up. We did put some slander on some certain things. But anyway, it's one of those things, you know what to expect when you get over here. We just go off the cuff and we talk some rubbish. Pulled out of our arsehole, as you know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. We will see you next time. Please do remember to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.